In recent years, the practice of semen retention has moved from the shadows of ancient spiritual traditions into the bright light of modern internet discourse. Often associated with online communities like nofap, the practice involves the deliberate avoidance of ejaculation, whether through abstaining from sexual activity, halting stimulation before the point of orgasm, or cultivating the ability to experience orgasm without ejaculating. While proponents claim a vast array of physical benefits, from clearer skin to increased muscle mass, the most profound and commonly reported effects are psychological and emotional. At the heart of these testimonials lies a compelling idea that a sense of harmony may well stem from the very psychological and energetic shifts triggered by this practice of self-discipline. This video delves into the multifaceted dimensions of semen retention, exploring the interplay between ancient wisdom and modern science to understand how refraining from ejaculation might cultivate a deeper sense of internal balance, focus, and vitality. It is a practice that, for many, becomes not just about abstaining, but about redirecting one's fundamental life force. One of the most immediate effects of semen retention is the change in one's relationship with impulse. Modern life is filled with instant gratification. Social media, entertainment, and digital stimulation constantly train the brain to seek quick pleasure. Sexual stimulation is one of the most powerful forms of this instant reward system. When a man chooses retention, he begins to interrupt this habitual pattern. Instead of responding automatically to urges, he learns to observe them. This simple act of observation creates psychological space. In that space, awareness grows. Over time, this process strengthens self-discipline. The mind becomes less reactive and more intentional. Decisions are made with greater clarity rather than emotional impulse. This psychological shift can affect every area of life: work, relationships, creativity, and personal growth. Retention becomes less about denying pleasure and more about mastering one's inner environment. A sense of harmony arises because the mind is no longer constantly pulled in conflicting directions. Instead, there is coherence between desire, purpose, and action. Another psychological shift many practitioners report is emotional stability. Sexual energy is closely tied to emotional states. When energy is frequently depleted, mood swings, fatigue, and restlessness can sometimes follow. Retention allows this energy to accumulate and stabilize. As a result, many individuals notice that their emotional responses become calmer and more measured. Instead of reacting quickly to stress or frustration, there is greater patience and resilience. This emotional balance contributes significantly to the sense of harmony within. Life's challenges do not disappear, but one's ability to navigate them improves. The mind becomes less chaotic, and inner peace becomes easier to maintain. Emotional harmony also affects how one interacts with others. Conversations become more present and genuine. Relationships often deepen because attention and energy are no longer scattered. Beyond psychology lies the energetic aspect of semen retention. While science is still exploring the full nature of human energy systems, many spiritual traditions describe subtle forms of energy flowing through the body. In yogic philosophy, sexual energy is linked to the root chakra, the foundation of vitality and survival instincts. When conserved, this energy can rise through the body, nourishing higher centers associated with creativity, communication, intuition, and spiritual awareness. Practitioners often describe feeling more energized and vibrant. This is not merely physical stamina, but a sense of internal charge, an alertness and presence that influences posture, voice, and demeanor. The body begins to feel like a well-tuned instrument. Energy flows more smoothly rather than being constantly discharged. This energetic continuity contributes to a deeper sense of harmony between body and mind. One of the key principles often associated with semen retention is transmutation, the transformation of sexual energy into other forms of expression. Sexual energy is one of the most powerful creative forces within the human body. When redirected, it can fuel productivity, creativity, and spiritual exploration. Many artists, athletes, and spiritual practitioners throughout history have intuitively understood this principle. By conserving their energy, they channeled it into their craft, training, or contemplation. For modern practitioners, this may manifest as increased motivation to pursue goals, build businesses, improve health, or deepen spiritual practices. The same force that once sought immediate pleasure becomes a driving fuel for long-term achievement. This transformation creates harmony because energy is aligned with purpose. Instead of being drained by repetitive habits, it becomes a reservoir that supports growth. Another commonly reported shift is enhanced mental clarity. When the mind is not constantly preoccupied with sexual stimulation or gratification, cognitive energy becomes available for deeper thinking. Focus improves. Tasks that once felt difficult to concentrate on become easier to engage with. Reading, studying, planning, and creative work often benefit from this heightened mental presence. This clarity can feel like a fog lifting from a mind. Thoughts become organized, and decision-making becomes more confident. The result is a sense of psychological order, a key component of inner harmony. For many individuals, semen retention eventually leads to greater spiritual sensitivity. This does not necessarily require adherence to a particular religion. Rather, it manifests as an increased awareness of life's deeper dimensions. Meditation often becomes more profound. Silence feels richer. Nature appears more vivid. Small moments of gratitude or insight become more frequent. Some spiritual traditions teach that sexual energy, when preserved and elevated, strengthens the connection between the physical body and higher consciousness. While interpretations vary, the experience many describe is a feeling of alignment with something greater than themselves. This alignment contributes to a profound sense of harmony, not just within oneself, but with the world. Another noticeable shift is increased confidence. This confidence is different from arrogance or ego-driven pride. Instead, it is a quiet self-assurance that emerges from self-mastery. When a man gains control over one of his most powerful biological drives, it naturally builds respect for himself. That respect reflects outwardly in posture, eye contact, and communication. Others often perceive this change as a strong presence. People may feel more comfortable, curious, or attentive around someone who carries this grounded energy. Confidence, in this sense, becomes a natural byproduct of internal harmony. It is important to acknowledge that semen retention is not always easy. Urges can be strong, especially in the early stages. The mind may resist the change because it is accustomed to familiar patterns of reward. However, this challenge is also part of the transformation. Discipline is like a muscle that grows stronger through resistance. Each moment of conscious choice reinforces self-control. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes natural. The mind adapts to a new baseline of energy and focus. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and share the video. The reward for this discipline is not merely restraint. It is the development of character and inner strength. For semen retention to create true harmony, it must be integrated with a balanced lifestyle. Simply retaining energy without channeling it can sometimes lead to restlessness or tension. Healthy outlets are essential. Physical exercise, creative work, meditation, prayer, and meaningful social interaction all help circulate and refine energy. Exercise, for example, grounds excess energy into the body, improving strength and vitality. Creative activities allow energy to express itself constructively. Meditation calms the mind and helps direct awareness inward. When these elements combine, retention becomes part of a holistic lifestyle rather than an isolated practice. Another important aspect of harmony is avoiding extremes. Semen retention should not become a source of guilt, fear, or obsession. The purpose of the practice is growth and self-awareness, not rigid perfectionism. Everyone's journey is different. Some may practice long periods of retention, while others may focus more on mindful moderation. What matters most is the intention behind the practice and the awareness it cultivates. True harmony arises when discipline is balanced with self-compassion and wisdom. The psychological and energetic shifts associated with semen retention rarely occur overnight. They unfold gradually, often in subtle ways. At first, one may simply notice increased energy. Later, emotional balance may improve. Eventually, deeper insights about purpose, spirituality, and self-identity may emerge. This gradual unfolding mirrors many other forms of personal development. Small daily choices accumulate into significant transformation over time. Patience is therefore an important companion to the practice. Ultimately, the sense of harmony that may arise from semen retention reflects a deeper return to inner alignment. Modern culture often encourages constant stimulation and external validation. Retention invites the opposite: stillness, self-observation, and intentional living. By conserving and directing one's energy, a man begins to understand himself more deeply. He becomes less controlled by impulse and more guided by purpose. The mind becomes clearer, emotions stabilize, energy flows with greater vitality. This alignment creates a feeling of coherence between body, mind, and spirit, a harmony that many seekers throughout history have pursued in different forms. Semen retention is often misunderstood as merely a physical or behavioral practice. In reality, its most profound effects may occur within the psychological and energetic realms. By conserving sexual energy and redirecting it toward meaningful pursuits, individuals often experience shifts in self-discipline, emotional balance, mental clarity, and spiritual awareness. These shifts gradually create a sense of harmony within. Life begins to feel more integrated, with thoughts, actions, and intentions working together rather than pulling in different directions. The journey is not about suppression or denial, but about transformation. It is the process of turning one of the most powerful forces in the human body into a source of growth, creativity, and inner peace. For those who approach the practice with patience, mindfulness, and balance, semen retention can become more than a discipline. It can become a path toward deeper harmony with oneself and the world. Join the Retain to Thrive Telegram channel at the link below, where we focus on building discipline, overcoming distractions, and achieving goals. Join the supportive community sharing tips, motivation, and accountability. Let's grow together, one step at a time. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and share the video.